Hello, welcome to Rarely Rad. It is Haley and Isabel on the mic. What's going on?
Well, I just moved this week. Exhausting for you.
At least it's not like real moving.
Yeah, it's still a fucking pain in the ass because we just sit in the lobby for 3 hours.
Yeah, you guys were up there for a while, but at least it's nice and you don't have to like actually move furniture or do any of that. It's just some suitcases and bags that you're lugging around.
Yeah, and an air fryer.
Now scissors and a bottle opener.
As we stay here longer, we're just gonna accumulate more things, and it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah, eventually you'll probably just buy like a suitcase or something.
I have a suitcase.
No, I'm saying, dude, obviously another suitcase.
Oh, I want to get rid of the ones we have. I hate them so much.
Oh,
They're
see,
not ours.
you buy yourself some new ones that are nice, and then you just use those shitty ones to move your crap from place to place.
Well, they're not ours. I gotta give them back probably soon.
Yeah, probably then.
Yeah, but you know how the mayor of New York got indicted?
No.
Okay.
You know I don't watch the news.
I don't watch the news. I just look on Instagram and I know this. Like, what do you mean? Even Sabrina Carpenter. Okay, it was because of Sabrina Carpenter.
I did see Sabrina Carpenter said something about it, but I didn't watch the video or do anything because I knew nothing about it.
Yeah, well, she filmed her music video Feather in like a church in Brooklyn. And obviously people are like, why are music videos in churches? Like, that's not. And obviously I presume she probably paid to be there.
Yeah.
And churches aren't supposed to, accept monies in that kind of sense. So they like looked into the church, and that's how they found out that the mayor of New York was like laundering money or whatever the heck he's doing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, wild stuff.
Jeez, I have gotten some recent TikTok news. One, I keep getting like the ads or the sponsored videos of this neuro gum. Have you seen this? Apparently there's this like little white gum. It's called neuro gum out right now. And it's to give you focus and energy and everything.
They have like pills like that. I don't know if they really work or not.
Again, it's TikTok sponsored little videos. So of course these people are like, I swear by this. Like, I hope no one at work asks me for a piece of my gum because I don't want to share this gum and like stupid shit like that. But I was like, I wonder if this actually works. I don't need it. Obviously, I don't really like have a real tough job to like pay attention to and have to really focus, but I was intrigued by it. And then another news thing I saw, have you seen the Australia Crumbl cookies drama?
No.
So I don't even know where it was in Australia, but Crumbl cookies did a pop-up in Australia. And like the TikTok page is like, I think it's Crumbl Sydney. So it must be in Sydney. They sold, apparently, I don't know this, but apparently Crumbl cookies in the US are like $5 each. They were selling these Crumbl cookies in Australia for $17.
Wow.
And with that, everyone was getting them. And apparently there was like an hour plus long line for people to get these Crumbl cookies. And then people were reviewing them and they were like, they tasted stale. And everyone's like, of all the people I know that have tried Crumbl cookies, they say stale. Like, yeah, maybe they're super sweet or whatever. But like not stale. Turns out that these people are actually just they've commented on posts and stuff, Crumbl cookie fans. And they flew to the United States, bought like 800 cookies, spent the night, and then flew back with the cookies and then had a pop-up and sold them.
That's insane.
And everyone's like, now like, what? And they're commenting back like, no, we're not associated with Crumbl. Like, we're just Crumbl fans. And we wanted to bring the Crumbl cookies to Australia. And everyone's like, I think that's literally illegal. Like, because you technically, like, you can't buy something and then resell it like that. Like, almost like, like buy something at bulk at Costco, like a shit ton of granola bars. Technically, as a business, like that's why on the boxes it says like not for resale. You can't then take the granola bars and then sell them for like $3 a piece when you got a whole box of 80 for $25. Like, that's technically illegal. Most of the time you see it and it's like not done on a big scale, like when people are selling water bottles outside of a concert or whatever. But you can't, like, this was a big scale. Like, they literally, their TikToks were going viral, and then they even had videos of like traveling to the US with our to get our Crumbl cookies and everything.
I feel like with that though, Crumbl's obviously going to try to sue, but it's also like yeah, it's illegal to resell like that, but it's not like Crumbl had any disclaimers saying not for resale.
Apparently they do.
They do?
Apparently, like in their company thing, like
Privacy
it
policy.
says like not made for resale, which I think most businesses probably do have that somewhere. It's just not like flashing in front of our faces.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about it in like a
Yeah,
fresh.
because we would never do something like this. They were gonna do another pop-up, and they even posted, they were like, sorry, flight delays, so we're gonna have to delay our pop-up an extra day. We'll announce the new location soon.
I wonder how Crumbl's going to handle this, because I feel like you can't. It's almost like, I mean, they have to do like a cease and desist or something, because I feel like you can't sue people like that. Like
Well,
a
apparently,
multi-billion-dollar company is going to sue these little Australian dudes.
well, someone was saying that they might sue for their profit. Whatever profit these people got, because again, they were selling these damn cookies for $17. They might sue them for whatever profit that they got.
Can you sue people in other countries? Because it's the laws are different.
I think so. I don't know. There was another comment that was like, Crumbl can now sue you and the ACCC can. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming the A means Australia. But outside of that, I have no idea what any of the other letters mean. But apparently they can, because also it's not healthy either to be selling.
Like a food. Got to be like some sort of food violation.
And then people are like, were these
actually, you're not even allowed to travel with certain foods in and out of countries. I know meat is one of them, and I think dairy is one of them. I don't know how dairy, I'm sure there's obviously dairy in cookies, but I don't know.
You think like, okay, when you're on an airplane, like that's when your skin gets super dry and stuff because of the air. So these cookies had to be dry as hell. Like they probably were awful. Also, like, did you have one suitcase with your like cookies and you checked that, and then were your clothes in that suitcase? Were they just like all?
I mean, I presume the bag is checked, because you can't go to TSA with food. They make you throw it away.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're not supposed to check food either, unless they bought it like in the airport.
Are there Crumbl cookies even in an airport?
Probably. We have breweries in the Charlotte airport.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think back to like, like the Great American Cookie that was like in every single mall food court. Like you don't see those at airports. So I just feel like Crumbl cookie wouldn't also be at an airport, but maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It would honestly be a good airport place to be, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I want a cookie.
Yeah, maybe we should get with Crumbl and be like, actually, let's expand and start going into airports. And these are the airports we like, and these are the airports we hate.
Dude, I just don't even understand how they flew them over there. It's complicated.
I have no idea. Yeah, I just saw a TikTok on it. Again, my typical news.
I crave a cookie.
I love cookies. I sent you that. So like I think we're both kind of the same way. We're not Christmas girlies.
I don't really look forward to anything. Like I'm not a celebratory person. We don't celebrate our anniversary. We don't celebrate anything. Like Christmas is like, I guess I look forward to it more than like any other thing on this planet. Other than like trips, but like I don't care about Thanksgiving. I don't really care that much about Halloween. I don't care about anything, honestly.
Oh my Lord. Well, I saw that video yesterday where they made like Christmas like look actually like so cute and peaceful and happy. And so I think I need to actually try and decorate for Christmas this year and make it cute. Like last year I literally had a Christmas tree that was half lit. I think like I should actually put in effort, and then maybe I'll enjoy it this year. But I just like, I need to lose weight now so that I can eat cookies then, or I'm going to be running 24/7.
Yeah, I think Christmas will feel different here because it's actually like cold.
Yeah. Well, and New York City is just gorgeous during Christmas.
Right. But I'm not going to decorate. I don't have the money to do that anymore.
Yeah. No. The most I would, and your places are so small, the most I would do is like go to like the dollar section in like a Target or something and buy a little garland thing to like hang near the TV.
Yeah, and I'm not moving with a Christmas tree.
No, God, no. God, no. That would, yeah. You could probably find one on like Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, but then how far am I going to have to walk to go get that thing?
You're walking through the city.
Yeah. I mean, that's what people do. They walk through the city with their Christmas trees. Maybe I could find there's a TJ Maxx right next to me. Maybe there's like a $5 one. I could just one of the little ones.
Yeah. I'm sure there's like going to be little like Christmas tree farms. They're not farms. People sell like Christmas trees, and they sometimes will have like little tiny ones. So you could always just get like a little tiny one and just call it a day. And then it's real, so you can just throw it away after and not actually feel like you're throwing away trash.
Yeah, the only thing is this place didn't come with a vacuum, so then I have to already go buy a vacuum. I mean, I'm just gonna buy like a cheap vacuum that just it's so small.
Yeah, you have dog hair.
Yeah, they're like, here's a broom. I was like, oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be awful. Just another thing to spend money on. Kind of off of, kind of relatable. I know for you as a candy person, you like chewy candies, fruity candies. You're not really a chocolate girl. But if you were to choose your favorite chocolate, like candy bar, what would you choose?
You know what's weird? I went through a really weird milk dud phase, which is like super random. But I like caramel with like, or chocolate with like caramel in it.
So like Rolos.
Yeah, I like Rolos or like Dove.
Okay.
So there's this restaurant that went viral on TikTok for like the, those cucumbers, the cucumber salad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it started from that restaurant, and they had these like, it tasted like Nutella filled dumplings. Oh, they were so good. And then they gave you this like caramel cream dipping sauce. It was so good.
I started thinking about it because I think about this often as a single girly. I just don't want to date a guy that has a nut allergy. And I know he can't control it. And I know it's not his fault or anything. But like, no, I don't want. And I'm one of those people, like, I think banana bread tastes better when it has nuts in it. I like it. I like the nuts when you do like, I don't know, a McDonald's sundae and it comes with the little peanuts. I want the peanuts. I don't know. I just like the crunch to it, whatever. And then I was thinking about it because Burnett is allergic to nuts. And then I was thinking about like, she can't have a Reese's. I was like, that's insane. And I was like, so what are my favorite candy bars? And I was like, I mean, if, like a Reese's, if I'm going chocolate, or like maybe a Snickers, those have nuts in them too. And I was like, I've been meaning to ask her what her favorite chocolate candy is. And I'm assuming it has to be like a Rolo or something because so many of them have nuts in it. Oh, my other one is a Almond Joy. She can't have that.
Nutella?
Yeah, can't have that. I'm like,
I saw I don't know, it was like a Reddit post or something, and it was like this kid, and he was like, he had a nut allergy, and he's like, all I wanted to do was try a Reese's in my life. So in like 6th grade, he was like, you know what? He brought his EpiPen to school, and he was like, give me the fucking Reese's. Stabbed himself with the EpiPen. Well, that's like, it was worth it.
It's funny. I didn't eat Reese's for like so much of my life. I don't know why, but something about them like totally gave me the ick.
Oh, me too. I didn't try them until like maybe like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, that's how I was. And then the first time I ever tried one was actually in New York City. Like we went to like M&M World or whatever. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, you guys keep talking about these. I'll try it. I was like, wait, okay, these are good.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why. It threw me off so much. And I didn't try one until Amy, because they don't have Reese's in England because that's like not a thing.
Yeah.
We have to try these. When she came to visit, I was like, peanut butter and chocolate, this looks so weird. She's like, no, you have to. And even my mom tried it. She was like, wait, these are like really good.
Wow. It also reminds me, my long-term ex, one of his best friends, he was allergic to nuts. And this was in college, and he was allergic enough to where he had an EpiPen, but I don't think he like brought it around with him because at that point you're an adult, you know what you're doing, whatever. And one day I think they were tailgating or something, and he was on like antibiotics, so he couldn't drink. So he was just smoking a ton of weed. And so apparently he was like smoking a joint, they're passing the joint, and all of a sudden he started having a panic attack. And he was like, oh my God, like, someone get me an EpiPen. I'm having an allergic reaction. Did someone eat peanut butter and then hit the joint? Because now it's in me. Like, oh my, and everyone's like, no, you're good, like whatever. And literally has a full freak out episode. I literally think they brought him to the hospital. Like he was so like, this is happening. Oh my God. Like he was just high as fuck.
Yeah, definitely.
And had anxiety.
High panic attacks are the worst because like you can't shake it off. Like it's there because you're so in your head. I used to have them a lot when I used to smoke.
The first time I ever did an edible was my freshman year of college, and it was 3 cookies a serving. And we were like, let's just split it. So we each had 1.5 cookies. And I mean, in an edible, it's not going to hit you for like at least an hour. And we're like 25, 30 minutes in. And I was like, oh my God, I can't get more high than this, but I know I'm going to.
That's the worst.
I don't know how I'm going to function or move. Like, am I going to be frozen in this way? Like, oh my God. And then I was like in the bathroom, like trying to make myself throw up. And I did. And I was so high, I ended up falling asleep on the dorm bathroom.
Throwing up is nothing when you're high, though. It's not like you're going to get less high.
It doesn't. And that's what one of the girls I was with was like, one of those like, oh, feel the vibes. Ooh. And I'm like, no, that's not where I'm at right now. Like, I have to go throw up. And she's like, it's not going to help you. Like, that's just in your head. And I was like, this is what you're not understanding. In my head, it is going to help me. So let me do this. So in my head, I feel like I'm getting better, even though it's not actually going to do a single thing. Allow me to at least think I'm helping myself because I'm dying.
That's why I don't really smoke anymore. I started getting just like really negative thoughts, and I was like, I can't be in this headspace. And especially on Sundays, like after drinking, and then every Sunday I would be like, what if I log on and I can't log on because I got fired? And I was like, dude, I can't think. Like, I told my coworker about it, like when I was smoking. I was like, yeah, he's like, that's a really bad mentality to have. So I didn't tell him I was high. I was just like telling him I was like thinking about it because obviously when I tell my coworker I'm high. He was like, that's really bad to think like that. I was like, yeah, I don't know. It's not all the time, but it was definitely all the time. Like,
yeah, actually, I just have mental issues. So
yeah. I know my old boss was like, you have severe. He's like, I thought I had anxiety. Like, you have anxiety. I was like, no, I have terrible anxiety. That's what you're talking about. Because he's like, oh, like, I don't really care if you got to go to the grocery store, like you work remote, like that's fine, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I even bring my work phone when I take the dog out in case somebody reaches out to me. He's like, it's 2 minutes. If you don't respond in 2 minutes, I'm not going to wonder where you're at. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to be known as that person that doesn't respond to people.
No, I'm the same way. Like, if I go on a run during like the work day, I always will bring my work phone and leave it in my car. And the first thing I do when I get back is like check my work phone. And I'm like, did anyone reach out to me? What is going on? Like, oh my God. And usually the answer is no. No one's talking to me until today when literally I have like 10 work calls and I'm like, what? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, dude. That's how it always is. I feel like when we're like recording, I'll be like, oh, like nobody's reaching out to me in these hours. And then it's like, I'm getting 3 phone calls.
Yeah. I feel like for you too, you'll always like be like, oh yeah, it's going to be a chill work day. And then it's not, it's the exact opposite. Like all of a sudden, like shit's hitting the fan. One of your clients or whatever is like having a bad meeting. And it's like, okay, well, what I thought was going to be a nice, smooth day is the exact opposite.
I have not had a smooth day in a long time, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's because your clients are kind of a shit show. And by clients, I mean the main one.
Yeah, I mean, there's other stuff going on with my other clients, but I feel like I never talk about them because I was talking to one of my friends, this was a while ago. She's like, I didn't even know you had other clients. I was like, yeah, they're just not a problem.
Well, and that's my favorite part is like, I know the name of your one and I don't know the name of any other one. And even when you text me and you're like, oh yeah, bad day at work or something, I'm like, oh, because of blank. And you're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
It's always them.
It's literally always them. Now we the only partner in the entire company that has 3 calls a week, and now they're like, let's move it up to 4. I'm like, I don't need to talk to you guys for an hour, 4 days a week, when I'm also emailing you guys every single day, 3 times a day.
I have other
everything else that I'm doing with you guys. Like, what is this? No, just leave me alone.
I'm not your own personal person. I have other things to be doing with my other clients.
Yeah, and then yesterday when I emailed, he's like, is so-and-so going to be on the call? And I'm like, why does nobody be asking if I'm going to be on the call? Like, and they're like, oh, because you're always on the call. I'm like, great.
Love that for me. Something else, since now we're in October, kind of wild. Have you reviewed your bingo card lately?
So I reviewed it in my head. Like, I haven't looked at it. I know I hit bingo probably like 6 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, I would say like maybe even 2 months ago.
Maybe even 2 months. I hit 5 in a row. Literally just wasn't even expecting that. And then I started Duolingo last
Yeah.
night. Good Monday. And I actually ended up doing 2 lessons today. So I was like, I might as well just get another one
Yeah, it's kind of
tomorrow.
fun, except
It is.
I know the answer. It's like one of those weird things where like it says like repeat this sentence or like add the word and it gives me multiple choice. My hardest part is when they like ask me to start spelling shit and I'm like, "Oh Lord." But
Spelling? I haven't gotten to that.
oh my God, yeah, they're like fill in the blank and I got to type.
Oh, mine's like they say it and then I have to write the sentence that they're saying.
And you choose the blocks of the
Yeah.
words. No, I have had to literally type words.
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna be hard. I'm glad I'm not there. I
Yeah.
don't know how I ended up behind. I ended up behind you.
I don't know. When I did the like test to see what level you're at, I did really, really, really well. And then I'm like, am I a good test taker? Should I have been better in college? Because what am I doing here?
Wait, I didn't get that.
When I first logged in and started, it was like you can either start like at lesson 1 or like the very beginning or something, or you can choose to like find what level you're at.
Oh, see, I think I just picked lesson 1, and
so
it's super easy. Like I'm way far, but I think it's still good to kind of just.
Well, see, here's my issue is like, I do think I am understanding some, but overall, I'm like, I don't think like I'm learning. Like, I think I'm just like seeing this test and I'm like, okay, like I know that answer. I know this. Like, and then if you get something wrong at the end of the lesson, it makes you repeat it, but you just told me what the damn answer was 4 questions ahead of it. So now I already know it.
I think it does actually work though, because when I flew back from Rome after leaving y'all, I met up with my friend Amy and this girl Lucy, and she was like, "Oh, I've been doing Duolingo for the last 6 months," and she was like actually talking to the server, and he was like, "Oh, like, do you speak Italian?" She was like, "Just Duolingo."
Okay. So maybe I just got to keep going and I'm actually going to know more than I think I know.
Yeah, because when she said that, that's what initially got me into being like, wait, if she's actually like able to communicate with a server and the server is literally asking her if she speaks Italian, like that makes me want to actually get better.
Okay. Yeah. So I started that one but the rest of my bingo card, I realized it's all money oriented, basically.
Really?
And I'm like, it's October. Like, am I suddenly going to like win the lottery? Well, even though I don't play the lottery, get my hair done, money, finish decorating my bedroom, money. One was go to a concert, which I have a feeling, which is weird that I haven't been to a concert yet this year. Like last year I went to like 15 different concerts and now here we are in October and I've not been to one yet. But
concert season's like coming to a close.
Yes and no, outdoor ones, but
Yeah.
we still have a lot of concerts in Atlanta. So I haven't found what one I'm gonna go to. Post Malone's here in 2 weeks. I know some people going to that, so maybe I'll look into that. I don't know. But again, just money. One was an FSU game, which obviously we're just not gonna go to that. That's a L. But literally every single thing, I was looking at it and I was like, great. Oh, one's pay off a student loan, just more money. I was like, so basically everything I haven't done on this is something that costs money and I haven't made any more money.
That's why I think I only had like 2 or 3 money ones on my bingo card. I think I'm pretty close to them. I've got to re-review.
Speaking of money, we were thinking, since this is our 30th episode, which is kind of crazy, we wanted to do like a little, I don't think list is the wrong word. Things we learned in our 20s as 2 29-year-olds.
Yeah. So one little thing that kind of made me think, I mean, I know even though yours are like money related, it's not like money related in that aspect, but it's important to have multiple goals, like not all in the same category. I know we talked about this a couple when you were here. Not all your goals can be like fitness related. Like not all your goals can be monetary. Not all your goals can be self-help or whatever. Like it has to be in different categories, because the truth is like as much as you want to hit this goal, it's not guaranteed that you're going to hit that goal.
Yeah.
Because things change, things come up, like moving. I had a goal to hit financially. Moving kind of took a little bit of a toll on that goal, and I don't think I'm going to hit that goal.
But moving was one of the goals you had.
Exactly. So moving was one of the goals, and like that goal, moving, was more important to me than hitting my financial goal. Granted,
well, I wonder with that if like maybe when making goals, like you put priorities, because obviously I've hit some of my bingo card things, but like now I'm coming down to all these different money ones. And so like for me personally, priority wise, I think I would prefer to pay off a student loan versus go get my hair done.
Right.
And I think right there is priority. Granted, both money, so like not great there, but there's a priority there. Or even one of mine was to like, go to the dentist, and while that was still money, which ended up not being, I don't know how, girl forgot to charge me, whatever, bands, but it was going to be money. But outside of just like paying to go to the dentist, like that was like a health thing.
Yeah, I mean, I had a certain weight loss goal, and I don't really know if I've hit it. I know I've lost weight living here. I fit into pants that I didn't used to fit in Charlotte, and part of that I think is all the walking. I mean, on weekends I'm taking over 20,000 steps easily.
Yeah.
And a weekday, even though my place is smaller, like I walk more because I want to leave the house. I mean, I don't know. I feel like a normal day for me is like 7 to 10,000 steps.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a weight goal.
Pretty diligent on my steps before, but I'm also not drinking as much, which is probably a huge thing.
Yeah, I actually, the month of September, I only ended up drinking 7 days. Kind of a dub, considering like I was in New York. I was in Nashville for Labor Day. I traveled a lot for work on the road. So I was like, honestly, kind of impressed that I only did 7 days because my goal is always 10 or less.
One other goal I had, speaking of Nashville, was like always take the trip. Like not in like a FOMO way, but in like a you're not going to regret spending that money knowing that you're going to make a core memory versus like, but like if there's, like I said, don't take the trip in like a FOMO way.
Yeah.
Take the trip because
Well,
it's something.
that's funny because one of mine that I had on my list was travel with your friends. And because I think traveling with your like significant other is very different. And like if you're together your whole life, you have your whole life to travel.
Yeah.
But like, especially in your 20s, like a lot of people don't have kids yet. Like they have a not a very important job. So like you can take PTO and not stress about the job. And like we have usually more disposable income because we don't have those other priorities.
Yeah.
And so we have that money instead of going to spend it at a damn bar. And like you look back and you're like, I spent $10,000 at a bar this year. That sucks. Why not go and travel with it? So that's funny that you say that because that's actually one of mine. And I think you form new friendships or friendships reach different levels when on trips, even if the trip is 7 days or whatever. I think there's a certain bond that happens during trips.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the Greece trip, like I feel like I created different friendships with those girls because we did that than if I just did like skinny with them all the time, you know?
Yeah. And I think it just creates a certain bond that you'll forever have and like all those different memories too.
Right.
So I guess kind of with friendships, one of mine was friendship buckets and knowing where you place your friends. I think so many people see friendships like a whole, but in reality, like some people aren't your ride or die. Some people are your drinking friends. Like, and I think you have to learn as you grow older what bucket each person's in. And it needs to be fluid. I can't see one person as my drinking friend and then them see me as like their best friend because then I will forever let them down.
Right.
If they are broken up with and they need me and I just don't see them as that, like I'm not going to be the person like running to them with like chocolates and wine.
I think it's also like you have to realize in an emotional sense too, like I'm not going to run to some of my friends about like a bad day I've had, like an actual bad day I've had versus like I might be like, hey, do you want to grab dinner?
Yeah.
Let's be friends. Not, I guess like friendship buckets. But I think that's definitely part of getting older. I think that's like self-realization on your friend's part too. Like they have to realize your limits in the friendship.
I agree. With that, I think also be willing to let go of friendships. A lot of people will still force friendships and like you're going two different ways. And I totally understand like being cordial and stuff, obviously. If you're not seeing eye to eye and like you both now have two totally different goals in life and like it's clashing the friendship, what's the point?
I also on friendships, I also put like the importance of having girlfriends. Like
Mhm.
I think a lot in our younger years, probably it's situations where your friend starts dating somebody and then you don't really see them. And like I know I've been that girl too, where I was like, I don't know, like I ditched my friend group, but I was like, I'd rather just hang out with him, like
Yeah.
whatever.
I think the quality of those girlfriends also changes it too.
Oh no, for sure. I think so too. I think though, like as we get older, as somebody in their late 20s, early 30s who's ditching you for their boyfriend, like when you have like an established friendship, like you don't want to be friends with somebody like that. Because
No.
and the thing is like somebody like that, like as much as this person can end up being your boyfriend, the rest your husband, whatever, like you will always need girlfriends
Yeah.
because your husband can't be everything to you. You have to have an outlet in other ways because your husband has his own, like he's not coming to you for everything. Like he has his guy friends that he's venting to you about, like, as much as you don't want to hear it, your boyfriend's probably talking shit about you at some point. Like, I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you know? So I think it's just really important to have girlfriends and have like a close, like a good understanding of that.
I agree. I mean, well, first off, no one likes the friend that suddenly gets a boyfriend and then no one ever sees the friend again. We all have some of those, and it's just like, all right, cool. Like, you got in a relationship and now you're MIA. And I get it if you like don't want to like go out partying to the bars late at night every weekend. I get it. But like, even like dinners or something, like, come on, just get together with the people. And then we actually had a conversation somewhat about this past weekend because there's this one girl. She was young. She literally, I think she just turned 24, and she has her first ever boyfriend. And then she was talking to Burnett and I about like what type of guy we like, what we look for, blah blah blah. And I like kind of said somehow it came up where like still being independent while in a relationship, and I was like, yeah, I know I failed that in my long term relationship that I had. Like, I know I was very dependent on him and I would almost like kind of guilt trip him when he'd be like, "Oh, I'm going to go." Like, we both were working from home during COVID, and he'd be like, "I'm going to go grab lunch with some of my old coworkers." And I'd be like, "Well, what's Haley going to do then?"
Yeah.
And like, and even he said, he was like, "I know you always meant it as a joke, but like, there is part of it." And I'm like, "No, I know I was very dependent on you." And so that's when Burnett was like, "I wonder how that would be this day because I have so many more and better girlfriends now than I did then. I
Yeah.
had friends that were girls then, and I'm still friends with them, but like they're not my close friends. They're not people I talk to every day. They're people I still follow on social media and maybe I send a Snapchat to once every 2 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
they're not good, like, and they were never good friends, really. They were friendly, like we'd go do things as girls, but they were never going to be my best friends. And so it's interesting to look back now and be like, I wonder if I were in that relationship, would I have acted that way with my current friend group?
A lot of in your early 20s, are you still friends with a lot of those like friends that you had in your early 20s? Because I'm thinking about it and I don't, not friends with them. I'm just like looking back at it, I mean, I was in a completely different place in my life.
I don't know. For me, a lot of time with friendships, I always like think, and I'm like, would I invite this person to my wedding?
Yeah.
That's like kind of where I like start that like decision making because like sometimes they invite me to their wedding and I'm like, so nice of you. I don't think I'd do the same. Early 20s, I mean, that's college for me. And I have like, I'd say my one good friend from college, and we don't talk often. We talk once every few months, usually.
I guess I'm saying up to 24. Because I feel like under 24, like those friends that I had then, I don't really know if
But those are the people that I literally I mean, I was dating long-term ex during those years. We broke up a month after I turned 25. And no, like some of them I literally don't talk to at all. Some of them I talk to here and there, but most of them, no, I don't talk to at all.
yeah.
All of my very, very good friends now, like that are in Atlanta and stuff, I've met since breakup, which is crazy because then they've like only known me as single girl Haley. other than my 2 failed 3-month-long relationships, but those don't really count. Those aren't that serious.
How they know you as a 2-3 months failed relationship.
The girl that dates narcissists that cheat on her.
3 months.
Love that. She just falls for a love bomber. Like, I swear I've dated better people.
One better person.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. LOL. I don't know. Did I already say this one? I had one that was timelines aren't real.
No, you didn't say that one.
Okay, well, that was the first one I even wrote down, just because, like, I don't know. I look back and, like, I had the date I was getting married and everything back in 2019. Here we
Dude,
are.
I'm gonna get married at 22.
Like what? Like, I mean, if you were to have asked me when I was younger, I'd probably be like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to rush anything. So like married, maybe about 25. And then like I want to like enjoy my life a little with my husband. So like first kid around like 27.
Like a child bride.
Like, oh, what? And even I felt bad when this the girl that we met this past weekend, the 24-year-old, she was even asking us about like one girl that was at the brunch. She gets married next week and she is like 24, maybe 25. She's young. She's dated this guy since high school. They broke up during college, but then they got back together. But she was like asking, and it was, and the way she was asking, like how old people were, it felt in a timeline way. Like, oh, like you're 24 and you're getting married? Like,
I wonder if she's sitting there being like, shit, am I making the wrong decision?
the girl getting married? I don't think so.
Girls are in their late 20s and they're like actually doing fine, and now I feel like I shouldn't need to get married at 24.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, I start thinking and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm gonna get married. If I get married, I'm gonna be like 35.
See, I don't think that, I mean, Carrie Bradshaw didn't get married till she was like 40 something.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Yeah, I'm
she
just
didn't
living my
start,
best
like,
life city.
she didn't even start like dating big officially, like, you know, like when they actually got together until she was like 37, 38.
Yeah. So there's hope.
Yeah, and Carrie.
Because that just says timelines aren't real.
Exactly.
We all don't need to be like Gossip Girl. We can be like Sex in the City.
One other mini goal that I had, or not really goal, yeah, lesson, read. Like you really should read.
Yeah. I agree. And that's something like I hated reading my entire life. And then I just like forced myself to do it, and like it's not that bad.
I used to love it, and then I got into high school and they would force you to read, and so that made me hate reading. And then I didn't really start reading again until this year. I've 11 books so far.
That's good. I saw this funny TikTok, and it was like, when do people start reading? Like it used like literally like 2 years ago, it'd be like, yeah, I don't read. And then it was like, yeah, me either, girl. Like, no. And then all of a sudden there was just some like random switch, and it's like, sorry, I can't, I'm reading tonight. And everyone's like, when did people do this?
I think it kind of started during COVID, but now it's like, oh, you don't read? Like,
Yeah,
you're dumb.
I agree. I almost tell me if you disagree here. I almost feel like working out's kind of the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't worked out in a while, so, but I do agree.
And you want to get back to it, but I feel like now in your 20s, it's like, wait, you don't work out?
Yeah, or like do like something.
Yeah, like I mean, at least you're getting walks and stuff in, you know. But like, and I always think about it too. Like, you know me, I'm like so disciplined. I'm always like, I plan to work out every single day unless like something I'm traveling or whatever. And that like I'm always going to plan to work out. And some people just like go into a day like never planning to. And I'm like, you have so much extra time. The days I don't work out, I'm like, oh my God, like, what do people do with all this time? Because then at that point, I've eaten dinner so early and I've gotten ready for bed. I'm like getting in bed and it's like 8 p.m. And I'm like, well, I know I'm not falling asleep this early, so what am I doing?
I think that's another thing with like when you set goals, like know what you have to do to set those goals. Like if I want to set a goal to work out 3 times this week, I have to do it in the morning. I'm not going to do it after work. I'm not an after work morning or after work workout person. For one, I never really know when I'm going to get off.
Yeah.
2, when I do get off, once I sit down, it's done for me.
For me, I mean, I've pretty much changed when I'm working out all the time. If I'm traveling for work, it's usually in the mornings. If I'm at home and going into the office, half the time it's in the evenings. I think that for me is just my self-discipline.
Yeah.
But I think that's just learning what works best for you. Even yesterday when we were talking about how we started Duolingo, and I was like, yeah, I think if I just do it for like 2 weeks, it'll be a habit. And you're like, I thought it usually is longer to create a habit. And it technically is. Like if you look at studies, like to create a habit, I want to say it's like 28 days or something. But I know myself, and once I start doing something, it just becomes a habit for me. It doesn't become something I think about. Like it kind of like making your bed, which honestly, that should be something. I didn't put this on my list, but something in your 20s, make your damn bed.
Dude, I would never used to make my bed. Well, part of that was because Austin would get up after me, so I'm not going to make the bed when he's still in it. And then I kind of forget about it because I never go into the bedroom until I'm going to bed. And then once we moved to New York, it was different because he was going to work. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm making the bed now. But I don't make it as soon as I wake up. I will make it at like sometimes I'll make it at like 4 p.m. Like it kind of just depends on my day. But
and I just think that doesn't really matter. But I think like it makes you feel better.
Yeah. It just makes your room look instantly better.
Yeah. And like you don't walk into it and there's just like things everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it just looks put together. And it's just like, yeah, good. Like I'm coming back to this nice made bed.
Let's see. Oh, one last goal I kind of had was like accepting that people are going to talk shit. Like at the end of the day, people aren't paying me bills. Like I know when we made this podcast, people were definitely like, oh, what the fuck? And like, talking shit. And it was like, okay, like, but what am I doing that's really affecting your life? Like, why am I bothering you so much?
People are going to talk no matter what. Let them talk. I mean, shit, we're always talking.
Yeah.
We're talking to the Yap Queens.
Yeah. This and Yap.
Like, people are always going to talk. And like, I don't know. You look back, like, have you seen back when Gwen Stefani, speaking of which, have you seen what she looks like these days?
No, is she normal looking?
I mean, she's 54 years old, but she does not look 54 years old. She was on Jimmy Kimmel or one of those late night TV shows last night, and it came on after Monday Night Football ended, and we were like, holy shit, how old is she? And that's when I looked up, she's 54, and I was like, oh my god, wait, did I say Lady Gaga? I mean Gwen Stefani.
You said Gwen Stefani.
Okay. I was like, wait a second, because my brain's not working. My actual story that I was going to say is Lady Gaga. And Lady Gaga, she like was bullied all of high school. And there's a Facebook page that literally, like, I guess like her high school classmates made that was like whatever Lady Gaga's real name is, like blah, blah, blah.
Stephanie, whatever her last name is.
It was like, will never be famous.
Yeah.
And like
she commented on it.
I know. And that's how I even know it exists. And look at her now. And it's like, damn. And that sucks for you because now you have to hear me on the radio.
And also, like, imagine how stupid and, like, what an asshole you look like.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. Do things that you want to do. As long as you're a good person and nice. Like, don't be mean to people.
Yeah.
But,
unless you behind their back.
Yeah. And it's not that mean. Like, there's different levels.
As long as you're saying, I love her, but no. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I agree with that one.
Other than just guard your peace. But we kind of.
Yeah. Well, and I agree with that too. Make your boundaries. Know what makes you happy and what's filling your bucket and what's not.
Yeah.
I'm so particular about what I see on Instagram because, like, if I suddenly notice that I'm feeling some type of way about something, I'm like, let me remove this. Why am I going to allow that into my emotions when they don't even know. So what's the point? And then one other that I actually thought about, but I didn't write down, was also, which I think kind of similarly goes hand in hand, is that blood isn't family, or family isn't always blood.
Yeah.
I guess it's more that family isn't always blood. In the end of the day, like there's things I would do for people that aren't blood related that like I wouldn't do for people that are blood related, which might be shitty on me, but like in the end of the day, like you can choose your family too. You don't have, just because you're like blood related doesn't mean like, oh, they can do whatever you want. Like, no, like again, like I think that's boundaries and peace as well.
Not on topic at all, but guys, I saw Jimmy Fallon last week.
Who were the famous guests, I guess?
Kate Blanchett.
I know that name, but I don't know who that is. Who is that?
I never like, she's one of those people, like I know her name, I know she's very famous, and she does like a lot of serious movies, but I could, if she walked past me in the street, I would know what she looked like.
Okay, she looks only 55 years old, and she looks way older than that.
Yeah, I think she looks like somebody that would smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
But she doesn't, she mentioned that she's like vegan or something. Dude, she was like talking. Okay, so it's like so weird seeing it from a different perspective. It feels very inauthentic. It was very interesting to see
in person.
Yeah, and also because like people like that are so out of touch with reality. Like she's telling a story. She's like, "Oh, I have chickens and I had chickens and pigs," which like some people have chickens and pigs, but like most people in New York City probably don't. And she's like, "Yeah, like I'm raising my kids to be more aware of what they're eating and like specifically like meat. So we raised these pigs and they were our pets, and then we killed them to eat, and then I didn't tell them until they were eating whatever the pig's name." And I was like, this isn't relatable to me at all. Like, what? And I was just like, it's like funny, but I was just like, I don't have any, like, I don't get this.
I'm sorry,
this is like not, I was like, this is so unrelatable. And it just made me like, it kind of reaffirmed my, I guess, idea of that celebrities just being so out of touch with reality, because people just laugh at you because you're famous, or like laugh with you because you're famous, not because what you're saying is funny.
That reminds me, yesterday when I was on my run, I was listening to His and Her podcast, and which I know the girl's name is Lauren. I don't know what the guy's name is. And they brought on this guy that studies sleep. And Burnett had already listened to the episode. So she was like, listen to this, like it's really interesting, whatever. So I listened to it on my run. And it was interesting, a whole lot of it. And then they were talking about like alarms and training yourself for sleeping and whatever. And like the guy that also hosts the podcast, I don't know his name. He kind of does what I do, where like he has an alarm at 8:30, but like he usually will wake up before that. But if he doesn't, like that's his like last chance alarm, like get up. And the girl was like, I just like don't believe in alarms. I don't think people should have alarms. I think you should sleep as long as your body needs, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, honey, what are you missing here?
Yeah, I'm not setting an alarm for 8:30 because I want to wake up. I'm setting an alarm for 8:30 because I have to.
Yeah, and if I'm not up by then, like I need to be up. And even the sleep doctor and the guy, they were like, yeah, but not everyone has that ability to just do that. And I'm like
90% of us don't.
I'm like, thank you. Like, granted, like my job, I kind of can since we go in at 10. But still, I was like, this like is not relatable in this sentence right now. Like, why would you ever say that? Because most people literally have to wake up.
Basic self-awareness.
Yeah, I think a lot
Why
of
would
people
you even say that?
I was running and I was like getting pissed off, and I'm already running, and so I'm already like dying. And then I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I need to get back onto getting up early because I have not. My sleep schedule is so off today. My alarm goes off at 8:40, and I used to always be up at 7:40 to go to the gym. Now it goes off at 8:40, and then I turn it off and set another alarm for 9:20. And I know, and that is like the least me thing. Like that's annoying. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, basically his way of training you to be better was basically two options. One, start waking up at that early time, and eventually that'll make you start going to bed earlier because you're just so tired. He was like, wake up at that 7 a.m. time 3 days in a row. And by that third day, your body's going to be like, I need to go to sleep earlier. And then his other one was alternate. He was like, if you want to like change it drastically, he was like, you want to do it like in like 30-minute increments. Like, go to bed 30 minutes earlier, wake up 30 minutes earlier, and so on. He was like, because you can't just make a drastic change and like be going to bed at 1 a.m. and now suddenly you're doing 10 p.m. because he was like, you'll just end up laying there.
I don't know. I know I can easily just, because I'm a one alarm person. My alarm, well, not right now because I'm doing this whole situation, but usually I know if I just 8:40, get out of bed, feed the dog, do that, I'm fine. I just have been putting it off, and now I'm getting like tired. I get tired throughout the day. My whole sleep schedule's off. I need to get back on.
And so that's something we're going to work on now before we get into 30. Because prioritize your sleep, and we're working on that still. And on that note, we will talk to y'all next week. Bye.